Monday Night Football in the jungle tonight. The Los Angeles Rams taking on the Atlanta Falcons tonight. Week 17 to completion into Week 18. Tom Vecchio, Donnie Rightside here, ready to get down to business. Tommy, how we feeling tonight, man?
I'm feeling good. Like you said, I saw you tweeting before. Like
Yep.
there are some huge information nuggets coming
Oh,
out
yeah.
today, and will be over the next few days leading into this week. But we have an important game tonight. The Rams still have something to technically play for. They're looking to secure the 5 seed, which would have them playing the NFC South winner, Bucks or Panthers. And I think that's considerably more favorable than playing one of the other remaining teams. The South winner is the weakest of the NFC teams, so the Rams do want to win tonight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because a lot of teams, like when you can't jump up, like 2 weeks out, most people are still going to play, unless you have the
Right.
number one seed already wrapped up, and then you start to sit guys already. But there is something to play for tonight, too. I think the biggest ingredient tonight, Tom, which I get a kick out of, is the Rams beat the Atlanta Falcons. They have the Atlanta Falcons pick. So them winning this game tonight against the Falcons gets them actually a better draft pick. And I think that might mean more than actual moving up to the possible 5th seed, even if they can do that. But tonight, I do think you get a clean approach. It's just not – when I look at this game overall, we're going to bring up the let me just put this up here so we can get that look in here. The 8.5s at the opening number, 7.5s. Not a lot of line movement. So we're still not breaking through that 7 barrier, which we were showing some 7s a little bit earlier today. The Rams, 61%, as you can see right here, listed as that number of tickets coming in. And then you take a look at the total, 49.5 as a number. Anything grab your attention out of that? Because it is a lot of points. The Rams are a better football team. It is a lot of points at 49.5. But what are we looking today in a side or a total for you, Tom? Any ideas?
So last night when I was live with Brady, I talked about a 49ers Rams money line parlay,
Yeah.
which is at -113, which I still have active. So, I am on the Rams tonight in a sense, just on their money line straight up. Obviously, it's tied to yesterday's result, but the 7.5 is interesting. Seeing it come down, I'm not surprised. Like the Falcons, home prime time, they want to put up, like one last good performance before the year ends. And, like you said, with the draft pick, that does add like a little bit of wrinkle to things. But the Falcons wanting to play spoiler, for an NFC opponent, I'm not surprised about that. So I think the Rams cover. I don't love it.
Yeah, because again, if I'm taking this game too, I'm with you, Tom, because I do think the better football team is the Los Angeles Rams, and they can really do some damage tonight. I'm just trying to take a look at the action myself and say, is it worth the Rams 3,000 miles away from home winning this game guaranteed by a touchdown? I'm not sure, but I don't find myself, Tom, saying, you know what? I think it's a good spot to take the Atlanta Falcons tonight, even if you're just looking at saying the Falcons don't have a lot to play for at this point right here. Mike Parsons coming on. He says – Rams first half total 13.5 -140 got it last night. That's pretty good because the thing is 14.5s at some plus money at most outlets today. I could see the Rams scoring 2 touchdowns in the first half tonight, Tom.
Absolutely. And I'm just looking at it now. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you can bet, at least FanDuel doesn't have it. Oh, Rams alt total points. Here we go. 13.5 is now -165. So, -140 is a bet that I would make time and time again. Like that's a great number to have. -165 is pushing it, but I love that bet.
Let's get over here and take a look at some of these prop bets that are installed here. And we'll flip over on FanDuel, slide it down, game totals, touchdown scores, passing props, Tom. Kirk Cousins, 225.5. Matthew Stafford sitting here at 263.5. Decent numbers. If you're expecting Atlanta to be losing this game, which I do, maybe look at Kirk Cousins, but I don't think that's their game plan tonight. Like, I just think their game plan is a lot of, I'm going to hand the football off to Bijan. I'm going to try to keep this on the ground because the better defense, the better offense, the better everything is on the Rams side tonight. I don't have a lot of looks from the Atlanta side. 225 on Cousins, don't love it. Stafford, 263. Maybe they have it wrapped up by the fourth quarter. These are tough numbers for me. Did you decide anything on quarterback play tonight for you here?
Stafford over 21.5 completions
Yeah.
is what I really do like. And I was just on GTD with Kev talking about Stafford and just the dynamic of him, MVP, Drake May. Like, does Stafford want to go out there and sling some touchdowns? And maybe they do wrap it up by the third quarter. And, because again, like they don't have a ton to play for. So you do have to, put that into your handicap a little bit. So I like the completions for Stafford. I just think he's going to be super efficient. This is not a spot or the Falcons aren't a team that have really held quarterbacks under constraint really at any point this season. And Stafford's just been awesome. So I'll take 21.5 even with no Devontae.
Yeah, 21.5. Looking to get after some of these props here. Looking at the touchdown passes tonight, over 1.5, plus 152 for Kirk Cousins. And Matt, they're not going to give you anything with Stafford. Like, 3 is a really good game for a quarterback. He's going to get 2, but obviously, if you're going to 2, it's probably bet 365. You're going to pay absolutely out the nose for it here. So I do like Stafford to throw touchdowns, Tom, but I just can't take it at a 3 spot here.
No, like the 250. I don't even if you took to 250 with Stafford, and even if you put it with their money line, I mean that still only gets you to minus 158. That's crazy. So you're never getting a discount on Stafford at 2. Like there's no effective way to bet it. I'm not betting 3.
Yeah, exactly. Like you tell me right now he scores 2, yes, but then again you got to parlay with something else as opposed to just taking your cash. Like yesterday, I love Baker Mayfield and miracle touchdown at the end of the football game, went 95 yards in like 30 seconds, and they didn't even try to get the field goal because they were so close. Thank you for that touchdown. But Mayfield was minus 105 yesterday against the Dolphins yesterday, and now we take a look at that 2.5. It's just a bridge too far for me. And then Tom, you take a look at Puka. Like this is one of those things I look at, Tom, where the book goes. We know you want it. We don't have any wagers on this. And yes, Puka can get $125 tonight. There's no question. But when I just see one, everything has to go right just to get the 108 and just claim it. It's not even like you're getting the 108 times like, hey, it's plus 125. Like, no, you're still playing juice on it. How about Puka? 108 tonight on FanDuel.
I don't remember seeing a receiver this high. When Cooper Kupp had his Triple Crown season in, 21, 22, I forget whatever year it was, for the Rams. Like I remember writing about Cooper Kupp props when they were at like 91 and then moved up to 99. I was like, how are you betting 99? Like that's crazy. And now it's at 108 for Puka. So like, listen, if you want to alt Puka down and use that as like a parlay piece, I understand that. Yeah. That's not what I'm doing. But man, that's just a crazy number. They are just trying to move this as high as they can just to prevent people or discourage them from betting it.
It's like touchdown props in a certain game. It's like, hey, you want Christian McCaffrey? Good. You know he's going to score, but you're going to be paying some ridiculous price where it's not even worth it to bet here. Drake London, 66.5. Kyle Pitts, 51.5. Bijan, 43.5. And again, these are receiving props. Here's the interesting part to me. When you look at like just compartmentalize, Tom, the Philadelphia Eagles. They throw to Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith. It's like, okay, I got my 3 guys. That's what I'm going to settle on. Colby Parkinson, Mumfield, Ferguson, Allen, and then you slide it down here, Kyron Williams out of the backfield, and then Xavier Smith. Somebody's got to get those targets, and we do see him spread the ball around. Talking about Matthew Stafford, but Mike, how do you decide on a Rams side of these things?
So if you're not going to Puka, I was really high on Colby Parkinson last week when they were playing Seattle, and a lot of people were high on him from a betting and fantasy football perspective, and he just didn't get there. Terrence Ferguson is a good talent. Davis Allen is there. It's because the Rams use 13 personnel so much. They have 3 tight ends out there. And then it's going to be some combination of Mumfield and Xavier Smith in 2 wide receiver sets. Who else are they going to be throwing the ball to? I would rely on the talent that Parkinson and Ferguson that they have. Mumfield, it just seems like a little bit too much to me. I will say for Bijan, I like him over 17.5 for his longest reception, 17.5. He's gone over this number in 4 of the last 5 games. And we're not only seeing going over 17.5, he's getting into the 30s and the 40s with some of his long receptions. So that's where I'm playing Bijan tonight.
You know what's interesting, too, about this? Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan, and then you're going down and saying, okay, let me just scrape the bottom of the barrel with like a Darnell Miller catch. The one thing, exactly, like Sills is involved, but it's one of those, like, you could see him not even get like a target in the first half. It's like, oh, great, fantastic. That's a great bet I had. But talk to me here about Kyle Pitts, because it's apparent. Kirk Cousins will use this guy. He's playing well. It is a contract year for him down the stretch. They're already out of the playoffs. I think they lose tonight. And why doesn't Pitts get dotted up for 8-9 targets tonight?
He should. And to your point with them being out of the playoffs and this being a contract year, Drake London's their guy. And Drake London has been dealing with a PCL injury for a number of weeks. And he was questionable coming in tonight. Drake London is active. But the point being is if you know you have Drake London locked up, why are we not protecting him and easing off of him at the end of the season? A PCL injury turning into a real injury sets him back 8 months if he has to have surgery 9 months. Then we're talking about August the next year. Why not go to the guy that is healthy with Pitts, who's been contributing? Ease off of London and go to Pitts. That's what I would say from a rational Falcons perspective.
Yeah, I do think Pitts gets dotted up and maybe take a look at one of those catch results, the longest catch for Kyle Pitts. Brett Malloy out here, dynamic duo. Appreciate you both. Check both your bets daily. And Kev, of course, thank you for that. Mike Parsons it says Blake Corum Anytime touchdown, we'll get to that at a plus
Love it.
165 price. Let's get to the rushing props tonight because Bijan Robinson listed there as the leaderboard favorite at 73.5. Kyron Williams, 64.5, split backfield, maybe with Blake Corum tonight at 46.5. And then Tyler Algier at 25.5. The two quarterbacks, both listed at a half of a yard. By the way, if I gave you this, Tom, right, you should do touchdown double ups. Got to tell you, Cousins and Stafford, one of those guys to get a yard. How about that one, man? That's crazy.
If I had to pick one, it would be Stafford. He actually moved. He's been moving a little bit in some of these recent games. That's just purely based on he's forced out of the pocket now, obviously not design runs. But listen, if I had to pick one, I would pick Stafford.
Yeah, look at that 1-1, man. Instead of the touchdown prop, you can get a 1 yard. You're in it the entire game. The only problem with that is, like, Stafford runs for 3 yards, and it's like, dude, this guy's going to take 2 knees, and I'm out of my money. Man, that's ridiculous here. Bijan, 73.5. Kyron, as we talked about there. Any lead dogs? Because I can't. If this game, Tom, was 2 weeks ago, like, I feel like I'm firing away, but I'm just, like, one out of it, not. But I understand this. As I said to open the show, you're not going to get Bijan's only getting 12 touches because it's the end of the season. You're still playing hard. You worry about that in week 18. Like, do I want to get Bijan 17 carries before we head into the offseason? I think Bijan has a chance to have success tonight. But, like, if 64.5 with Williams seems right, I don't think I want to go there. Corum is like, okay, you're taking the backup guy. How many carries can he get there at 46.5? Algier, 25.5. I can't sell myself on a running back prop tonight.
I would sell myself on Corum just based on the fact that, we have seen the Rams utilize him more. And part of this is a lot of people have been talking about across the industry that, like, they are trying to keep Kyron healthy for the playoffs. But I think it's not only that, like, Corum's legit good. And I think they like him. So just like the combination of them wanting to keep Kyron Williams healthy and Blake Corum being actually good, like, that's going to cause more and more carries for Corum. And, earlier this year, Kyron was up in the high 70s for yardage and Corum was at 26, 27, 29, whatever it was. Yep. So I would play Corum just because I think that's a good number.
Touchdown props here, as we just saw there. Mike Parsons say he has Blake Corum anytime touchdown plus 165. Now, I can't. The problem with this, Tom, too, is like, okay, I think Puka can score a touchdown tonight. He's minus 145. I think Bijan gets in, but he's minus 130. And then if I even want to do the double up here, you're still giving me minus money with Kyron Williams, which is killing me. And then you have Blake Corum at that plus 165 price tonight. Again, this is why, like, from service plays and giving out, like, you want to have a clear edge on a game. Like, I really like this, or I like these 2 touchdown props. Like, if you said a gun to head, no, let's just say juice, worried about it, yeah, I would take Bijan and I would take Kyron. But they're both month money, so I can't really double down.
Right.
Is there any value down the like Kyle Pitts plus 210, Drake London plus 170? Like, if you think there's one touchdown pass, wouldn't it be that direction you go with Atlanta?
It would be Pitts and Algier. Yeah. That's where I would go. I wouldn't trust London with the PCL. And listen, they've been using Algier around the goal line. Like, that's been the story all season about, like, they get into the goal line, they get inside the 20, and they're actually utilizing Tyler Algier more than Bijan Robinson. And, if people are paying attention, obviously, in the fantasy football industry, like, Bijan's having a good year, but it could have been so much more if all these touchdowns from Algier had, or even 75% of them, went to Bijan instead of Algier. So if there's a passing touchdown, I think it's going to be Bijan or Pitts. I'm not playing the Bijan number. And Tyler Algier has a legit role inside the 10 and at the goal line. So play Pitts and Algier. The Rams side of things is a complete toss-up. I don't know where you go. You could take a shot on Colby Parkinson again. I was super high on him last week. He didn't come through, but I just don't know who else you would go to.
It's funny, too, with the Rams, Tommy. Like, it's supposed to be Parkinson. And, like, last week, I'm like, where's Parkinson? Why is everybody else involved here, including at the tight end position? So if you were going with the, hey, you know what? Let me really stretch this out, Tom. Plus 390, plus 340,
got it last week.
Plus 165. Yeah, like, that's probably the way you would look. But it's a shame because the Rams are so dominant. And by the way, we're not even talking about having Devontae Adams in here, which really throws a wrench into a lot of stuff where it's like, okay, 5-yard line, 10-yard line, he's going to get those passes. It's really up in the air. And it doesn't seem to me like it should be like, okay, well, Devontae's out. That's Puka. Like, Puka seems like he does all his damage 20-20, and then they go tight end and running back in the red zone.
Yeah, they really do. I'm trying to look at, like, because Tutu Atwell has TD props listed, but doesn't have receiving props. I'm trying to look at his snap count from last week, which was I mean, he only played on 9% of the snaps, I guess. But, like, he was a guy that was playing earlier in the season and trusted by Stafford. He was on 38, 28, 66% of the snaps.
The Mumpfields and the who's the other kid? The Mumpfield and
Whittington.
Yeah,
So it's like they don't have receiving props for these guys, but they have, of course, the other one. So, like, I would trust two of the tight ends. I would just go Parkinson and Ferguson and try not to worry about the bias that I have against Parkinson from last week.
Yeah, it's hard to do that too because last week, like, he should be. It's like, where is he getting these throws at? We're not seeing any, action here. Let's get to some Bet365 action here. Why is my computer a little bit slower today for some reason? Let me just zoom in on this, and we're going to go to some team props. Passing props tonight, Tom.
Oh, man.
Again, these never really line up to our eyesight the way we love them. 516.5, 70.5 passing attempts. Touchdown passes is 3.5 at a -115. That's not bad. Put it this way, Tom. If I think we're getting 4 touchdowns tonight, I probably just would bet 3 coming from Stafford, to be honest. Right?
Well, I mean, that's a good point. Like, Kirk Cousins has 2. This game flies over.
Yeah. Like, I would actually rather, instead of taking that 3.5 at -115 right here, I would rather take 2 touchdown passes for Kirk Cousins, which is plus money, and the 2.5 touchdown passes for Matthew Stafford, which is plus money, saying if one of them get it, I take plus money down. And you might be able to get 5 total touchdown passes where it's a 3 and 2 option. I think they can get 4, just not in love with it. Pass completions, 44.5. But if we go to the rushing props here, which always, tends to look a little bit better to the eyesight here. Total rushing touchdowns for the Rams tonight, 1.5, Tom. That's at a plus 185 price. Handoff center rushing plays, I should say, 27.5. Rushing yards, not bad for the Rams at 115.5. But again, you're not getting anything out of your starting quarterback. It's like, hey, man, you can get me an extra 30 yards and we can pick this up.
Right. So rushing yards 115. We were looking at Kyron's in the 60s and Corms in the 40s. Maybe you get like an end around by Puka. We've seen that at times this season. I don't love it. I think the passing touchdowns, I would just lean into Stafford being Stafford and wanting to win MVP. I don't know.
What would you rather take tonight? Rushing for the Los Angeles Rams at 115.5 as a team, or the Atlanta Falcons, Tom, at 108.5? How about that one?
That's a good question. I think I would take the Rams. I think they're just going to be up. They'll score. They'll run it. And then they'll kind of salt the game away. I don't want to trust an offense that's suspect to begin with.
Yeah, 27.5 rushing attempts for the Rams, 26.5 for the Atlanta Falcons. And my guy Jay Louis Saw says, "Yo, Mr. Don, fire on your prop cook tonight." I'm having a tough time. I'm telling you, it's one of those games where I think I might want to have to watch and say to myself, I need to see this first or second quarter because games are going to dictate the way this turns out. Rams start jumping on them. Okay, Atlanta's going to throw a lot in the second half and, whatnot. But at the same time, I don't want to catch this wrong. What do we got here for Brett? Brett says Bet365 is Mike's 13.5 team total at -120. Ooh, see
120? It's -165 on FanDuel.
You know what? That's not bad. That's not bad here. Let me see.
Rams.
If I go to FanDuel tonight, too, let me see what they get. Sometimes these first half props get me cooking where it's like, ooh, you know what? Because I like this. And the same thing talking about next week, Tom, which all helter-skelter in a lot of these games. That first half before the guys pull their starters out. Because I'm seeing even like the Dallas Cowboys, like, yeah, you know what? Dak's playing. Then they have Schottenheimer. It's like, well, what about why is the backup quarterback slipping my mind? The kid with the Milton. We might have a plan. I was like, oh, no. Like, are we going to say, like, hey, Dak, get yours for a little bit and then bring it in? Like, that's next week, and it's going to be tough. But when I see that, it always makes me a little bit nervous. Let me see here on this tab back at FanDuel and see if we have anything for, like, these first – do we have first half tab on this one? I forget.
First half for team?
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
Yeah, it's all the way it's after that. It's after DST.
What would you rather have? Full game, -7 to 7.5, or first half Rams -3.5? Is there like a price through there?
I mean, I would take the first half for the Rams. Like, they have to come out and score, and like a backdoor being open for Atlanta if they do pull the starters does concern me a little bit.
First half total 24.5. Of course it is, man. You're not going to give me a 23.5 where people be dotted in on that. First half Rams total points is what we're talking about. The 14.5 at +112. Always shop around. Make sure you're getting the best possible pricing out there. Mike Parsons says he don't have Bet365 where he is at. First half for the Falcons tonight, 9.5. It's really juicy.
Yeah.
And if you figure this game is around 50 points, you got to have at least 10 on the board for Atlanta in the first half. That's not bad, but it is, again, a little bit juicy at this point. Let's see it. Rams first half alternate total.
That's what I was looking at. Over 13.5 is 165 now.
So there, it's back there, 230. So can you parlay these markets?
Not for SGPs. You could probably parlay from something else, but
over 21.5 in the first half. Phew, man, let me tell you something, man. They get 22 points in that first half. Cooking. First, what else we have? Let me just slide it down to see if there's anything else here. Come on.
I mean, if you had to take a shot on something, I think it would be over 19.5. So you secure the 20 rather than the 21.
Over 2.5 touchdowns in the first half.
It's heavy juice.
It is heavy juice, man. They just don't want you to play any of these things, man. They really don't. First half touchdowns, Atlanta Falcons over 1.5 plus 194. And I guess the Rams. Where's the Rams? They don't even have the Rams. First half total touchdowns, Rams.
Nope.
Where's that at? Nope.
No, that's just it's not. Wait, do they not give you?
Yeah, I don't have anything for the Rams right now.
Yeah, I only see Falcons. I see. I thought that was the entire game.
Interesting stuff there. Second.
I mean, that's why they just don't want you to bet it because they're not going to give you a good line. They're not even posting it.
They're going to avalanche the Rams. Rams over 1.5 touchdowns. Obviously, you just would take the.
Honestly, if they offer me a Rams 1.5 at minus 200, I would probably play it.
Fourth quarter, both teams to score. They're interesting ones, but they're really crapshoots. But there you go, Tommy boy. So leave the people with something they got. Hey, for me, I got to come up. Give the people something. Now I'm going to surf this.
Right. Week. Stafford over 21.5 completions. Really like this. Again, even if you factor in only 3/4 of him playing, he really should be able to get there. I think the Falcons want to score tonight. I really do. They do have a home game next week. I thought this was their last home game, but they play the Saints next week. This is the last home game. It's prime time for the Falcons, I should say. But let's get out there and score some points, Falcons. Come on, let's put on a good show to end the season. So Stafford over 21.5 completions. I do think we'll have some good back and forth scoring. Hopeful on that. And then Bijan Robinson over 17.5 for his longest reception. The Rams are they'll have 552 receiving yards to opposing running backs. That's the 10th most in the NFL. Bijan's great. He's consistently going over 30, 40 for his longest reception in some of these recent games.
Like two ways I would go on this. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, plus 170 and plus 210, but also the backup shots here, Tom. Corum and Algier.
Oh, yeah.
Back option. Plus 165, plus 220. Legitimate chances they're getting some goal line carries at this point right now. So that's where I will go tonight. In this game before, Tom, we don't have a Thursday night game.
I know.
We got Saturday night games, which are fantastic games. Not because we expect it to be fun, but both real, we go home type stuff. Carolina, Tampa Bay, winner moves on. Loser goes home. Seattle, San Francisco, the right to that number 1 seed. That's fantastic stuff. Then good luck on Sunday, man. I'm telling you right now, read up, get those tea leaves all week. The coaches will lie to you, but take a look at some of these numbers. Like the minute they said today, what, Tom? Chargers, quarterback, Justin Herbert going to send this one out. 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5, 12.5 in the marketplace now as it sits here. I got to see more of this stuff, though. But I'm excited.
And we're also never going to get fair lines. Like last season, in the last game, Mike Evans needed whatever it was 98 yards.
Yeah.
To
and what do they do? Yep.
And they put it at 98.5. Meanwhile, his normal week in and week out reception total was like 77.
Correct.
And they're going to put it at 98.5. So
they put it up to above where it's like, okay, let me just get this and then dip out. It's like, well, they didn't give me that. They gave me 110 when the guy needed 101 to get it.
Right. So the contract incentives that we want to bet into, the books know about it. So if the guy needs 50 and his prop is normally at 30, they're going to give you a 47.5 line. They're not going to give you the normal 30 line. So
exactly.
Be careful. It's fun to bet the incentives on the last week. It is a fun thing to do, buy into the narratives, but you got to know the lines.
Exactly. Because what I already started to look at, and they're going to slow roll out these props because they're not going to get burned on these. Because here's the problem too. I look at guys like Cincinnati Bengals, Chase Brown at running back. Never had a 1,000-yard season, got close before. I think he's within 50 or 60 yards of that. So it's one of those hey, we're going to take care of you. And then the same thing with Justin Jefferson. Well, I bet Justin Jefferson last year. Rosemore's horrible, where he's 50-some-odd yards away. But again, they're not going to be okay, 50-some-odd yards, 50.5. They'll put him at 59.5. Get that first. Get that, hey, we'll throw you 4 passes in the first quarter, get you your 1,000, and you're out of the game. Okay, it goes with 55 as opposed to 59.5 they give you. So keep an eye on that one. But you might want to do to sort of usurp that You go ahead and you go like a alt number and be like, let me just parlay. I'm going to parlay 50 yards rushing for this guy, 50 yards receiving for this guy. And if this guy needs one more touchdown for this or whatever, that might be the way to do it this weekend.
Totally viable. Listen, if that's what it takes and I have to take two players and you alt them down and then you get them to minus 130, I would take it.
There you go. It's the way to do it. It's Tom Vecchio. It's Donnie Rightside here. Monday Night Football. Enjoy it. It's a holiday week, people. Cash in some tickets. We'll catch you later.